security has been tightened in Kenya ahead of a controversial rerun of the presidential election which is being boycotted by the main opposition. Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is seeking a second term, has urged people to vote and remain peaceful. Opposition leader Raila Odinga, who has pulled out of the election rerun, has called on his supporters to boycott it. Mr. Kenyatta was announced the winner in an 8th of August vote, but the poll is being held again because of irregularities. Election Commission Chief Wafula Chebukati said the polls on Thursday would open at 6 o'clock 3 o'clock GMT after being given assurances by the authorities. Tens of thousands of police and other security personnel have been deployed to protect voters and polling stations. Urging people to vote, President Kenyatta said, "Our forefathers fought and died for the right of the African to vote. We dare not reject this inheritance." The announcement by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission of Mr. Kenyatta's victory on 8th of August led to inflammatory rhetoric and attacks on the body. Last week, a senior member of the EBC fled to the U.S. amid death threats. About 70 people have been killed in violence since Mr. Kenyatta was declared the winner in August's election. Mr. Odinga had wanted the repeat ballot to be held at a later date, but a bid to delay the election rerun fell apart after only 2 out of 7 Supreme Court judges attended a hearing on Wednesday. One judge, Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, failed to appear after her bodyguard was shot and wounded by unknown gunmen on Tuesday. Kenya's Supreme Court took the unprecedented decision to annul the August presidential election and demand a rerun in September, citing irregularities and illegalities. Chief Justice David Maraga said the election had not been conducted in accordance with the Constitution and declared it invalid, null and void. He said the verdict, which was backed by 4 of the 6 Supreme Court judges, found that the IEC had committed irregularities in the transmission of results. The court said the result was neither transparent nor verifiable. The court ruling did not attribute any blame to President Kenyatta's party or campaign. The ruling raised tensions, with rival protests in support of and against the court. There were running battles between police firing tear gas and stone-throwing protesters in the city of Kisumu, an opposition stronghold, on Wednesday. Mr. Odinga has said that the IEC has failed to make the changes needed to prevent a repeat of the mistakes that marred the earlier poll, although the IEC disputes this. His opposition coalition, the National Super Alliance NASA, made clear its participation in the election was contingent on reforms being made. Mr. Odinga has vowed to disrupt Thursday's vote and has called for massive demonstrations, but asked his supporters to stay away from polling stations in an attempt to avoid violent clashes. In a statement earlier this month, he accused the government of instituting a dictatorship, adding, "We are going to win the battle for a free and fair election. Our opponents want an election for the sake of it, we want a better election," he said.